Sanibonani, welcome back to my channel. It's always good to come back to you guys. Guys, thank you for those that have stayed. Thank you for my new people. If you are new, please subscribe and do the whole thing, guys. Like, share, let's engage more. Let's engage more. So today it's a continuation, or the topic is related. The previous episode, I spoke of who you need to become before you meet the one, what you need to be doing whilst you are equipping yourself, readying yourself for the one. Today, we're going to jump from that, and now let us assume you have met, let's call him a potential somebody, a potential guy, and you are in the dating process, or you're already in a relationship, whichever way. How do you date? So today we're going to be talking about dating as a wife. Today's topic is dating as a wife. Firstly, I want to talk about dating. In my context, in what I believe dating is, not what we see today. Obviously not that, but dating is collecting data. When you go on dates with that somebody, you go there to have a conversation, to find out more about the person. That's collecting data. Maybe at the time there's already a connection, there's chemistry, but dating, guys, dating is collecting data. Dating is not umjolo. I say jolly when we're dating, I'm just going to meet this guy, have a conversation. We can have the first date, maybe the second date if you're not sure. But after that, if not, you call it quits from there, But that is when you collect data of the next person. I'd like to say this. I'm talking about this because I know others are already questioning, are you even qualified to talk about this? Well, what I'd say is that according to the world standards, I am not qualified. Because of, I'm not an expert, because of where I'm currently at, because of my past experiences. But according to God's kingdom, I feel so much qualified. In fact, I know that I'm qualified to talk on this topic because I'm just anointed and I'm called. It's as simple as that. When you are led by the Holy Spirit, He qualifies you either way. It doesn't matter who says what and when. He will just qualify you. So that's the disclaimer, guys. The reason I'm talking about this is because I've been led by the Holy Spirit to talk about this, not because I'm better at it or I know more or I've navigated the path, nothing like that. Remember, this platform is about impacting lives of whosoever we come in contact with, transforming lives, changing lives, growing each other. I'm also growing. I'm also navigating, and it's very good to do it with a community, with people you can call your people, your tribe. I wanted to get that out. So let's go back to what dating is. Last time we spoke about who you need to become before you meet the one in the context of a kingdom marriage. We haven't drifted about that. I am all about that, kingdom marriages. So as a believer, you date for a purpose. You date for a purpose. You just don't date because you're chilling, you're vibing, you're going with the flow. We don't do that here. Honestly, for me, because I desire so much of a kingdom marriage, especially because through experience, I understand what it entails to have, what is required to have a healthy relationship. It's God being at the center, guys. We can never run away from that fact. It's truth. It is what it is. There's no way you can succeed without God being there. He's the creator. He created the marriage. He knows the intricacies of it, the ins and out. And the one to always go back and ask about is Him. He created the institution. He knows best. I'm not talking about what we see today as... because the enemy will always duplicate. God always has the original, and the enemy will always come with fake. So in our days, we're seeing a whole lot of things, same-sex marriages, all of that. I'm not talking about that, guys. I'm talking about a kingdom marriage. How do you date as a wife? Okay. So we've spoken about what dating is. It's just collecting data, meeting whosoever you feel is a potential, and seeing if you're compatible. Maybe there's chemistry, there's spark. So as a woman, you know, I speak for women because I'm a woman. I can never speak of a man's experience because I'm not a man. I'm not a man, so I'll speak only for women because I relate in that context. So what dating as a wife, how do you date? How do you date? There are things I want us to discuss, things that we need to do when we're dating, you know, in preparing for marriage. First of all, you need to bring your femininity, you know. There's a reason why you're a woman, and that's your power. Your feminine energy, that's your power, and you shouldn't downplay it or feel sorry about it. It's who you are. So you need to exude that femininity. You need to bring it, and it will speak of who you are and the value that you have as a woman. So number one, what you need to do when you meet this particular person or a guy, you need to be able to lift him up as a feminine woman. When you go to Proverbs 31, when you look at this virtuous woman, you know, she's so graceful, you know. Her language speaks of her femininity. She's graceful, she's kind, her tone, her approach, she's got this femininity in her. So what you need to be doing is, when you meet this person, you need to lift him up. What do I mean by lifting a man up? I mean, like, be ready to be engaging with him, you know. That's how you bring your feminine energy. Be ready to compliment. You engage through conversation. Show that you have an interest. Ask questions. That's part of collecting data. Ask questions, but there's a certain way that you need to carry yourself. The approach, the energy, the use of words. Like I've said, you need to be kind. You need to be ready to throw a compliment when it's necessary. You need to also advise, you know. That is how you lift him up, bringing your feminine side. When I say lift a man up, I'm obviously not talking about, for lack of a better word, a douchebag. I'm speaking of a high value man here. I'm speaking of somebody you feel connection with. You know, connection comes in different levels. For me, connection has to do with connecting with the spirit. Others might say it's chemistry, but there are people that you just feel safe around. I'm talking about that connection. And this applies to those kind of men. That is who we are referring to in this scenario. Another thing that you need to do, okay, also, even if you kind of get that this is not the one from the first date, as a wise woman, you need to be able to communicate that politely, you know, without pulling them down, without looking them down, because you're a wise woman and you are feminine, you know. Your energy, your approach includes being graceful and polite. So that is how you date as a wife. And okay, you're not a wife, but you date as a wife. I hope you get that. So that's how you engage. You engage all men, because, you know, even if that relationship never works out, but you need to leave a print of who you are, of your value, of your worth. That person needs to know what kind of a person you are. So that speaks of your femininity, your feminine energy. There are good resources. There's a book. I think I'll put the books. There's one book by I forgot to. This is a good book. It just went, but I hope I'm reminded of this books. Okay, another one is The Power of a Praying Woman. That's another good resource by Stormy. I've forgotten the surname. That's a good book. This one, the book is called The Anointing of Esther. You know, I forgot. This is a good book. Guys. I'll put it in the comment sections. But these are good resources, especially when you want to learn more about your femininity and being courageous and bold. These are very good resources. Okay. Another thing, how do you date? You listen to what the guy is saying. You listen to what he is saying and to what he is not saying. You know, yeah, guys, I've personally, I will admit, I've done errors when it comes to that, but I'm learning, I'm growing, and I'm going forward. So sometimes a guy will tell you, you'd ask, so what are we doing? Can you define our relationship, our thing? And guys, listen to what they say. Whatever the guy tells you, it is what it is. Don't then have selective amnesia because you don't want to hear what he's saying. Most of the time, guys will tell you that we're just vibing. You know, there are these things in our days where people are vibing. There's just a lot of things there. Situationships. Ugh. A guy will tell you, and you need, as a wise woman, you need to listen carefully to what he says. Sometimes he won't come out straight, but there'll be subliminal messages you need to be able to decode, to discern what they mean. So listen to him, listen even to what he's not saying, and question why he is not saying that. So usually we then look back and be like, you know, but he said that, it's just that I wasn't listening. So as a wise woman, listen to what he says. It's very important that you listen to what he says and also to what he is not saying. That will tell you more if you need to keep on going or you need to stop. Another thing, as a wise woman, you need to know when to live. Have a curfew for your dates. Have a curfew because that will enforce value even to you as a woman. You know, the value, he will then begin to respect you or see you in a different way, you know, because if you don't leave when it's time to leave, men have a tendency of taking advantage of you emotionally, even otherwise, you know, because you're available. You allow him so much access in your life, you know, like there's nothing else you're doing, there's nothing else you're pursuing. Be a busy woman, you know, like have your life, like because he's there now, your life shouldn't stop and then you allow him all the time. No, he must respect your time, he must respect the time that you've given him, and if the time is over, it's over. If you're having a beautiful date, shut it down. Be like, I'm sorry, it's time to go. It was nice, but it's time to go. So you need to know when to live. You need to know it. That's how you date. That's how you date as a virtuous woman, as a wise woman, for a godly man. Because sometimes men can even have a change of mind, you know, when they see the value that you put on yourself. Even if he wasn't that serious, then he'll be like, you know, this is... She's just so precious. I can't lose her. And they will adjust, they will change, they will transform, they will become what you are looking for in a godly man. As a wise woman, as a woman of value, as a woman who has got self-worth, you need to love yourself more than you like the guy. You need to love yourself. You know, that will protect you from a lot of things, you know. Because sometimes you find yourself bending over, but if you love yourself more than you like him, you won't change who you are for him. You are not going to bend. You are not going to compromise yourself, your values, your beliefs, none of that. You won't be doing any of that. But you'll remain true to who you are, you know. And that speaks of a wise woman. That speaks of a woman who understands her femininity, who's secured, who understands who she is as a woman. So whatever you do, make sure that you don't lose yourself. You do not you love yourself more than you like him. Make sure, because still, I always say, you can't even pour from an empty cup. You need to be filled up so that you're able to pour on the other person. So you need to make sure that you love yourself. Loving yourself. We spoke, if you don't know about loving yourself, please go back to our episode that speaks of self-worth. You learn more on self-love, on how you love yourself. So you need to make sure that you love yourself. You love yourself more than you like him. And the last thing is that you need to be ready even to lose him, because you love yourself more than you like him. You know, if you see that, no, just pack and go. Rather you deal with the heartbreak than losing yourself altogether. So that is part of loving yourself. Even if it means sometimes you have to go through a heartache, a heartbreak, but still you're remaining true to yourself. Your value and your worth is intact. You are not changing for somebody else. You're remaining true to who you are. You have to take those sacrifices. Whatever happens, happens. If you have to lose him, so be it. So be it. I know it's hard, but it's truth. It's the best way. It's the only thing you can do for yourself. So that is how you date as a wife. Because when I say dating as a wife, your mindset, you should perceive yourself as a wife. You know, when you go into dating, carry yourself as a wife, because the purpose you are dating is because you are seeing yourself as a wife. And when you date like that, in finding a godly man, you're guaranteed success, you know, and you're allowing the relationship to grow and expand to its full potential. Because sometimes we lose good men because of how we carry ourselves. We don't know how to date as a wife. We don't know how to carry ourselves. We don't know what to say. we don't know who we are, and yet we are desiring this godly marriage. And sometimes it ends even before it starts. So it's I always say, where there's no vision, people perish. You need to equip yourself with knowledge when it comes to dating, not just with experience. You need to be learning, be intentional, read, research, find out more. Look up to people that have been in successful marriages, converse with them, engage with them, have coaches, have mentors. And sometimes having mentors and coaches, it's not always that it has to be physical. There are great people you can find online that you could always learn a lot from by following their stories, reading their books, their content. Like, you can't just be desiring for a godly marriage and there's nothing you're doing in preparation, equipping yourself, even when. And that's one thing that people make this mistake. They desire to get married, they desire to meet a godly man, but they are not going out. And believe me, you will not find a godly man in a club. I mean, maybe you can. Maybe God can lead you, but 90% of the time you will not. So you need to be going out there, going to events, business seminars, conferences. These men play sports, golf, whatever. It's up to you. You know the kind of man that you're looking for, the caliber. If you're looking for a high quality value man, you'll surely find them in the golf course, in business things, and it'll depend on what you're looking for. But you can never find a godly man in a club, believe me. You cannot. So you need to be going out there. You need to be investing in your appearance, in how you dress up. And when you bring your femininity, you dress up, you become so classy. Okay, like, I'm a minimalist, I'm not your kind of girl who's high, and I'm a very minimalist, but you can tell that I'm a lady. There's that feminine side of me. And when I speak of a wise woman, I'm not talking about dress like a lady, bring your feminine side, never be overly sexual. Don't, because if you dress up overly sexual, instead it says something about you. You're probably going through trauma, or you're trying to replicate the masculine energy. You don't have to do that to draw attention. There's always something deeper to that. But dress in a way that will show that you're feminine, modern. You don't have to be you don't have to be looking like I'm sure you get me, classy and modern and beautiful, just enough flesh to show and not overly sexual. That's what I mean. So guys, we're trying to keep these videos short because your concentration span is very short, so I don't want to be going on and on. But I hope you really enjoyed this video, and also you got something from it, something valuable. So until we meet for the next time, peace, love you.